Okay, the next one is from Adam Hughes. We know who that is.
No.
Okay, wait
Hello.
1 second.
So the subject is Kevin Nash stirring the shit. Hey guys, especially Konnan, who I know just smiles a big old smile every time he hears my name get said by Disco Inferno or that other white guy. Can't remember his name.
Jesus.
Whatever. Anyway, a few weeks ago, Konnan was telling some funny stories of the antics of Scott Hall backstage in WCW. From what I've read, Kevin Nash was also pretty funny backstage, but I've also heard that Nash could flat out stir the shit backstage to the point of causing actual fights, such as Goldberg and Jericho in WWE. So my question is, do you have any backstage stories about Nash in WCW? P.S. Disco, which scene in Goodfellas are you in? And P.P.S. check out my podcast. It's Hughie. Hello on iTunes and Spreaker.
Nice.
I'm in the Goodfellas scene where they beat up the guy. All right, so you can see me in that scene. So
That's a lot of scenes.
Which one?
So where the guy gets beat up. So
That's a lot of scenes.
So the one from so let me tell you about Kevin Nash. Okay, Kevin Nash is very charismatic, very funny, very excellent politician because he's very intelligent and always wanted to make a lot of money. He was driven by personal greed, which you can't really knock the guy for. Because a lot of guys in the business were focused on personal greed, but stirring the shit backstage, Kevin would. I don't. Kevin, I want to know what's your opinion on that stirring the shit? Okay, because Kevin wasn't to me a shit stir is kind of like a little bitch boy that's going around. So, but Kevin wouldn't stir the shit so much as that he would have the ear of the office, or he'd have the office ear. You know what I'm saying? I don't recall Kevin ever really pitting people against each other or anything like that. Dude, give me an example. Maybe Konnan.
Well, he could stir the shit just like Scott could. Bro, he tried to do it with me one time with Vampiro. He knew we didn't like each other, and he put us in a match hoping that we would actually get into a fight. You know?
Really? Interesting.
And that was told to me by that guy that used to live with him. Remember that guy that was his assistant or whatever the fuck he was?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I met the guy twice.
Yeah, but me and Nash had heat at that time.
Right.
And the thing with Nash is that we were super, super, super tight. And then one day over just some stupid shit, he got mad. And so we had words. And then when he was Booker, he was trying to fuck with me. Plus, and I think you remember this. Remember when I got suspended? Because they had this article in USA Today, and I buried him and Bischoff.
Uh-huh.
And so I really had mega heat with him. And so, but the funny thing is that then later on, I went to Canada, and Teddy Hart had done a show there. And he goes, "Hey, Nash wants to talk to you. He's in the bar." And I was like, and he goes, and he heard that interview. And so I had done some interview on MLW, of course, where I was just I think I buried him, and I said the reasons why I did bury him. And then he goes, and he heard the interview. And I was thinking to myself, fuck, if this guy's drinking and he heard the interview, I'm pretty sure he's not too happy, So I went there, and he was sitting in the bar, and I said, fuck it, and, and he said, I heard that you've been talking some shit. And I said, well, don't hear from other people, listen to the interview. And he goes, I did listen to the interview. And I was thinking when I was sitting there, and I'm serious, either he's probably going to punch me or he might hit me with that wine bottle. You know what I'm saying? So I had a glass, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try to crack his head before he gets me. That's actually what I was thinking. And then he goes, you were right in some of the stuff that you said, and at least you're man enough to own up to it, and I respect that. And we shook hands. We hugged, we chopped it up, we squashed it. Then I went out that night with Teddy. I went out with some other guys, and I come back to the hotel, and there's a whole bunch of cops. And the first thing I'm thinking is Teddy Hart did something, and it might have had something to do with his wife, because his wife was staying at the same hotel, and she was a madame. So I'm thinking maybe she's escorting shit, she's using a room as an escort or something. They got busted. So we get there. And I remember I had to run out of the car to hide my weed because there were all these cops. And a fight had broken out between Nash and the wrestlers and some Irish drunk guys that were in the fucking bar, And so immediately I saw Teddy Hart throw a water bottle at this guy, boom, and hit him right in the face. And these Irish guys are screaming at Nash, and he's looking at them. And I got right by Nash, and the cop goes, "Who the fuck are you? You know, what are you doing here?" And I go, "Nah, this is my brother." And if, you know, and I was like, "If you take him to jail, you take me to jail." And the whole fucking, it was just like a big fucking mess. But it was kind of funny that, you know, at the end, me and him were actually like standing next to each other if some shit was going to go down. You know what I'm saying? After when I walked into the bar, I thought shit was going to go down between me and him. That's how quickly things change in this business sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I heard a different version of the story.
What do you hear?
I heard that there was a fight, but it was going to be a fight between you guys and the cast of Puppetry the Penis. And they were all ready to fight, and they were naked and stuff and everything and all that.
Ooh.
The cast of Puppetry the Penis.
What the fuck is that?
you know what Puppetry
You know what that is, Joe?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
funny.
some white boy shit.
Well, I met those guys in Australia. They do a penis act. Like they're like artists that like go up there and like do tricks with their penis. It's called Puppetry the Penis. And they were like backstage.
Did you have front row seats for that?
No, God no. But they perform in Vegas, right? They perform in a club in Vegas right around. They got a residency in Vegas right around the corner from my club.
Really?
Let me also say this about the Jericho Goldberg fight. Kevin did not cause the fight with Jericho and Goldberg. Kevin was at him and Goldberg were at the go position, and they were watching Jericho's match. And Goldberg was like burying Jericho, and then like Kevin was kind of like egging Goldberg on a little bit. You know, Kevin's like that, right?
Yeah.
And so then somebody told Jericho about it, and Jericho went and confronted Goldberg about it. And Kevin was right there, sitting next to Goldberg, and they went and had it. And Kevin was an eyewitness. It's like he was like the premier eyewitness to that scene, so I know that whole story. I will say this though, Kevin, me and Kevin, you know, like Kevin, like he used to. His thing was he thought some of the guys were too small. Right? Remember he called the Vanillas Midgets and everything.
Right.
And I had to. We had to talk about this one time, and I'm like, Kevin, you're not the guy to be talking about how small guys are. I go, you're 7 feet tall.
Right.
I go, you need some more of like an average sized person telling me that who's small, who's not the 7 foot guy that's like, bro, because you're taller than everybody. And just because you're the group of guys, you're the tallest more than anybody else, doesn't necessarily make them like less of stature for, a person, right? Because you're looking at it from a different prism than we are,
Right. So, and plus he also came from a promotion in a time where size was rewarded.
Size was rewarded, yeah, absolutely.